Welcome into this Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. This morning, a little before 10 o'clock as we're getting started today, we'll talk some basketball. March Madness is the round of 32 today to finalize the Sweet 16. And then also Ole Miss's season came to an end to Louisiana Tech since the last time we spoke with you guys on this here podcast. Also, Ole Miss baseball concludes a 3-1 week, including a sweep of Auburn over the weekend. They've really had their way with the War Eagles for a while in Oxford now. So that and more on the show.
It's the Tigers. War Eagle is a fight motto, not a mascot.
Sorry, the Plainsmen have had a rough time at Swayze Field over the last how many years? Is that better?
I've been corrected a few times when I've playfully referred to them as the War Eagles.
They don't like that?
They do not like that.
Well, then quit having three mascots.
I didn't say.
I mean,
they are the Tigers. War Eagle is a battle cry.
It's their mascot. They have one.
He is a symbol.
He's a real life thing that flies around the stadium.
But a symbol. A symbol of it is time to rally for war. The Tigers are the mascot.
That makes zero sense.
I'm just here to help.
Is that on their website?
Oh,
is in their media guide to not refer to them? Do they have like some X's through stuff?
Well, it's kind of like Ole Miss it says don't refer to them as Mississippi, and yet AP insists.
AP is very, very, very beholden to calling it. But
so is USA Today.
They do it too?
Oh, like if you go do the image thing.
Oh, well, yeah,
every
sure.
caption is Mississippi Rebels coach Kermit Davis or Mississippi Rebels guard Devontae Shuler. Even though the school specifically says don't call us Mississippi.
For the sake of people getting annoyed, frankly, had you just been called Mississippi from the start, like you are the flagship school in the state, it would make a lot of sense.
I never understood why Ole Miss people got so worked up about it. But they did. They would get because if you wanted to rankle them, you could just take AP style and do it.
Mississippi, Mississippi, Mississippi,
Mississippi. First reference Mississippi. Yeah, sure.
Well, it is kind of confusing when it's first reference Mississippi and goes to second reference Ole Miss. I mean, as much as of course. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Any other school have this situation? I mean, I'm sure there are, but I can't.
I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of any, but I'm sure there are.
Like a flagship school that goes by something different. I'm sure.
Is Rutgers technically the University of New Jersey, or is it Rutgers?
It's the state college. For some reason, is it the State College in New Jersey or something? Is that?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about more important things as we move forward on the show. A show brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Download that Speed Pass Plus app. Use it there to save some money, earn some points with the Oxford Exxon. And more, you can get the lunch specials, $5.69, 2 sides of bread, 32-ounce drinks. Stop by the hot case, pork, chicken, side items, and more there at the Oxford Exxon and all Blue Sky locations throughout Mississippi. You can come to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is completely up to you. You can shop it around. You can do what I've done many times now, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. 662-257-1900. Guest, join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. Be a great place this week to watch the NCAA tournament. Ole Miss baseball on the road on Thursday. We'll talk about this a little bit more, but we'll have a watch party on Thursday night with those games in Tuscaloosa. So if you go over to Swayze Field, there won't be baseball there, so you could just turn around and go to Rafters and watch the games.
Think anyone would show if they did like that thing where they put the game on the video board and people come like picnic and tailgate and put in drink and stuff in the outfield?
Probably not till the postseason.
Yeah. Also, you don't really want that on your outfield now that I'm talking through it. That seems problematic.
Because
it's messing the grass up. Yeah. I mean, because you've already, over the course of a 3-game series of this part of the year, because I'm assuming the rye hasn't fully grown in, there's a lot of bare spots in the outfield where the outfielders stand in traditional spot areas there. So I noticed that when Kiffin was taking lots of photos of Plumlee yesterday, that there was like a ball spot kind of developing there in the outfield around it. So
What's by the way, Rafters Music and Food That's okay. Rafters Music and Food also in New Albany, so it'll be a great place this week to hang out, enjoy the weather. It's supposed to be a fantastic weekend, I believe. So be a great time to come hang out in Oxford, and make sure you stop by Rafters and enjoy their burgers, po' boys, appetizers, full beer selection, full bar, the whole deal. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford and in New Albany. What's up with all the pictures of John Rice Plumlee?
I mean, we're just continuing from football season. I don't know. I can't decide if he's like trolling the fans or what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. I mean, Lane typically just has a good time on social media. Lane continuing to have a good time on social media.
Friday, 72 and sunny.
Okay.
Saturday, 78 and sunny.
Oh.
Sunday, 68 and sunny.
So do you think we're through our last cold snap? Was that it? I mean, I wore a sweatshirt Friday night. It was cold.
There's typically one more.
You think we got one more?
Full-scale pop before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's usually a period in April that gets cold. You've been out at spring football practices that were frigid.
Yeah. Oh, we've had snow late March into April. I mean, it's not uncommon. I don't think it's going to this year, but.
Spring football starts on Tuesday. We have practice access the same way that you do on Saturday. If you want to go to the stadium, you can. I think you have to socially distance yourself into your own section or something.
Pods.
Is that right? Is it pods? I don't know.
Zoom on Tuesday, Zoom on Thursday, and again, open practice but no media availability on Saturday is the schedule for spring football. It's actually both. It is Rutgers, the State College of New Jersey. That is their formal name.
Okay.
So it was originally called Queens College, the 8th oldest college in the United States, the 2nd oldest in New Jersey.
Oh, what's the oldest in New Jersey?
Think about it. You should get this one.
The oldest college in New Jersey?
That is correct, yes. Come on, Neal.
Oh, one of the Ivy Leagues.
Pick an Ivy. Which one's in New Jersey?
Which one is in Jersey? Browns in Rhode Island.
I mean, I can give you a hint that will give it away, but I'll give you a minute before I do it.
You can tell, being a North Louisiana boy, we didn't study the Ivy
All right, let me give you a little more obscure of a hint. Chris Christie's son played baseball there. Does that help you at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay. They were in town when all hell broke loose last year.
Yeah, I just don't remember.
Ole Miss played Princeton in baseball.
Princeton. Is that what was... I don't remember. What do you mean all hell broke loose?
COVID. They played Princeton the last weekend before everything shut down last year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because remember, Mike gets in the story you wrote last week, he talked about the Ivy League canceled their season was the very first thing that happened, and Princeton was done right after leaving Oxford. So they didn't do anything from that point on.
By the way, pointed out in the thread by Hilden, I pulled it up for myself.
Yeah, the weather's not good Thursday night.
Not that I disbelieved Hilden, but Thursday in Tuscaloosa, high of 71. Thunderstorms likely. Storms may contain strong, gusty winds. Winds south-southeast 10 to 20. Chance of rain 100%, 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. And then Thursday night, thunderstorms in the evening, then variable clouds overnight. Still a chance of showers. Chance of rain 70%. Friday, sun and passing clouds, high of 76. And then Saturday, chance of rain 50%. So they might have a difficult time getting all 3 games in, but we'll see.
Alabama, little news there. There's no update. I assume somebody from the media will ask today or tomorrow to Brad Bohannon, the head coach of the Tide. But Connor Prelup's still out for Alabama, their ace. And I don't think he's going to pitch. He said Bohannon said last Monday that he's out at least a couple more weeks, so that would indicate the Ole Miss series being one of those couple weeks there. He did not pitch against Arkansas. However, they still won like 16-1 or something on.
That was a weird series.
Night.
They crushed Arkansas on Friday, and then the Hogs kind of bounced back and dominated them the next 2 days.
It was kind of well. Frankly, Arkansas's got some Friday issues. Arkansas has been running into a lot of problems on Fridays throughout the year. I mean, they've got a hell of a record, but it's taken some stuff a little bit. And frankly, it's a little bit of a, if you're Ole Miss and you want to really search for some negatives, they're 7-1 in one-run games. Sometimes that evens out. So you kind of look at that and go,
a lot.
There's a good part to it. Hey, you're in it. You're letting the other team kind of fold a little bit, but
Vanderbilt has a Sunday problem.
They do, and if you're playing Vanderbilt, by God, you better win on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to need that one. So, it's – I'm telling you, I've never been more convinced in my life to take Jack Leiter over Kumar Rocker. I don't care at this point. I'm tunnel visioned.
I want credit.
I know.
When it happens over the course of 10, 15 years.
So do you think the Pirates will actually do it, or are they taking Kumar?
I don't know.
If you're the Rangers, though, a Rangers fan, and they take a high school bat – instead of you better be Mike freaking Trout if I'm doing that.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I don't see how you do it.
I'll take that guy.
Whoever's got the second pick,
the Rangers.
You go into it going, okay, here's the deal. We're not going to overthink this. Whoever they don't take, we take.
One of those two.
We're going to have both names written down. We're going to have the card filled out.
The Pirates get to pick.
And they get to pick, and they're going to make our decision for us. If they take Rocker, we take Leiter. If they take Leiter, we take Rocker.
But there's talk of Leiter falling to like 4, 5, 6.
Well, that's idiotic talk.
Couple high school bats maybe going before him.
I know what I'm looking at.
His 123rd pitch was 96 yesterday.
I am looking at worst, this is a guy that is the number 2 man in your rotation for 10 years.
He can get outs right now at the major league level.
The major league level,
today.
He can get outs today. I am looking at a guy who, at worst, is the second man in your rotation. And at best is the ace of your staff year after year after year. You can't pass that up. Just can't.
But they do have a little bit of a Sunday problem for a reason that I'm not 100% sure of, other than they're not great offensively. They're okay, but they can be handled when you play Vanderbilt in a series, win on Sunday, and then hope you run into a couple balls one or the other days of the week and have a hell of a pitching performance. That's how you take a series from Vanderbilt. I think, not just, hey, who's the more projectable pro, but in general, I feel like for Ole Miss, the way they kind of hunt fastballs and do things, I think they can hit Rocker before they hit Leiter. I think Rocker is a more winnable game for a way to take the series or win one of those first two or whatever. Because, it's kind of what they did with Casey Mize. They just kind of sat fastball and said, by God, we're going to try to hit a couple out of the ballpark, and suddenly he gets a little wild and stuff gets funny.
Sure.
And, they're human. Stuff happens. But it was pretty impressive on Saturday against Carolina.
So the consensus on our thread is that Kiffin is trolling media.
Which is possible.
Well, there certainly are media outlets that lobbied pretty hard for John Rice Plumlee to be the quarterback. We are not one of said media outlets, so I don't really it doesn't sting me. I don't pay attention to it.
We got to ask this we're going to get Ole Miss in a second. We got to ask this on the board yesterday. Best 1-2 punch in college ever. It's at least up there. The only one that I can come up with close is UCLA had Trevor Bauer and Garrett Cole on the
pretty
same
good
team. That was
pretty strong.
That's pretty all right. So
2 guys that have won the Cy Young.
Because this is better than Vanderbilt's last one, which was David Price and Mike Minor. Because you have to also realize Minor was a freshman and it wasn't developed when he was with Price. Still pretty damn good. But Casey Weathers was the closer. They had a couple of arms. But I can't think of anyone else who's even in that realm. It's a lot like, hey, what's Ole Miss's best one, too? Where everybody goes, oh, well, they had Lynn and Pomeranz. Same thing. Pomeranz is a freshman. That wasn't the same as you didn't have Lance in 08 and Drew in 10. Like that
the best one that they had never made it to the postseason because Biddle got hurt. But when Biddle was in that mix with
Pomeranz.
They were difficult.
That was, in all honesty, that probably was their best 1-2 when everybody's healthy.
Biddle ended up being the Sunday starter because I guess
they threw
Phillip Irwin. Yeah,
they threw Phil on Saturdays.
That was tough. There was a few weeks there.
That injury cost them potentially a national title.
Certainly cost them a shot at it.
Yeah.
They were going to be hell to pay.
Yeah. So, whatever.
It also made their bullpen so you didn't really have to use it, so bullpen arms were always fresh.
Yeah.
Which made you just vicious on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. So, anyway, we'll get to baseball in a minute. First, before we do that, is our bracket challenge, because it's all gone to hell, is it simply coming down to Michigan against LSU? Is who's going to Dragon Con simply does Michigan or LSU win a basketball game? Because Oklahoma State's out.
They're
Ohio State's out.
Yeah.
Illinois is out.
Yeah, because you had Illinois in the final.
I did.
They're out.
There ain't a lot left.
No.
What are we down to? Seriously.
I'd have to go look at it.
Because I've picked off a couple early points, but it's so early it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Do you have some final team left or anything that's like, oh, hell?
The only team that's doing me Arkansas did me a favor because you didn't have Arkansas advancing.
And they're probably going again. Did you have them again? Because they play Oral Roberts. They've got a 15 seed.
I had them losing in the Sweet 16.
Okay, so you had them losing.
Out. Yeah.
Who'd you have them losing to?
Oh, the bracket's so effed. That,
Okay.
I mean,
I can go look, but anyway, go ahead.
I still got Alabama going.
But I've got them hanging around a while too, though.
Yeah, I've got them in the Final Four.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. But they have to go through Michigan. See, that's the thing. I've got Michigan in the Final Four.
And I've got LSU beating Michigan today.
So that's what I'm saying. Today's a day.
Yeah.
I mean, well, see, when Ohio State lost, I was like, oh, God, I'm screwed, not realizing you had them held farther than I did. And I went, never mind.
I had them in the final.
Yeah, so we both lost our finalist losing to Gonzaga, which who cares? I mean, it doesn't matter. That doesn't.
Well, we both have Gonzaga winning, so that just cancels each other out.
Yeah, we're both not going. Someone's going to win. I did look up Dragon Con while I was sitting at the baseball game.
I did.
Friday night.
I looked it up the other day.
Did you see how many different options there are, though? How many, what do they call them, tracks?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 45 different genres that you can choose for your delightment over the course of.
There's a lot of crazy people.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot.
Did you figure out what you mean? Are you going with the baseball theme dress up? Is that still the move?
I think that's the funny move. I think the funny because my only
the Kenichi
fear,
Dragons or whatever they are.
My only fear with the dragon outfit is it's obvious at that point you're making fun.
But is it because there's so many tracks? There's a podcast track. We could go, hey,
yeah,
we're here for the podcast. But
well,
YouTube.
I mean, if you told me that I was going to get something out of it, that would be the track I would take. To go learn something about how do you're
if you had to actually dress up as something that is completely in bounds for the thing, what would you choose?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
I think I would pick a Harry Potter character.
Well, that would
because there is a Harry Potter track. I
is.
think I could do a Harry Potter character. I think that's
what
my
would
move.
be fun would be to go into something like that. It's a telemarketer from Friars Point, Mississippi.
Where is that?
I don't know. I'm gonna ask him real quick.
Okay.
Hello, Tom. Can you tell me where Friars Point is? Yeah, you're talking into a recording. They're very upset about my warranty. Gosh, dog it.
It's in Coahoma County.
Coahoma County, Friars Point. How about that?
They're worried about your warranty.
They were worried about my warranty. This was the last call. This was the last notice. This was it. So my chances on the warranty are over.
Okay. So yeah, there are a lot of options at Dragon Con. There's stuff. You get to make a lot of choices there.
Jesper Parnovic.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Anyway, but I think we're down to pretty much Michigan versus LSU today. The winner of that game is going to have a very good inside track to finalizing this bracket. Who I'm assuming both our brackets are in like the 1 percentile of anyone's bracket or something. Like I don't think
we've missed a lot, but everyone has.
Well, we got lucky that like had one of us picked Florida to make a run, like at least we got lucky. Like Oral Roberts knocked them off. Oh, by the way, Mike's going to be haunted by that because there was a path there. That
he had a path to go a long way, and they had a path in that game to just finish it, and they slowed down. They played right into Oral Roberts' hands.
They tried to protect the lead, but a lot of time.
A lot of time left. Got really conservative.
Not a good thing. So
Brian says I gave them my social security number and called it a day.
Whatever you guys need. Here.
Yeah.
People ask about the run thing. I did see where even though double decker's not happening, they're doing the normal races on the 24th or that weekend, that morning.
Well, it makes sense.
We could do that.
Because as long as you're running, you can't pass on the virus. But if you're just walking.
Maybe you got to run with it on.
No.
That would be hard. Have you tried that ever?
No. I'm afraid you'd be gone if you did that. Just gone. Sort of like NCAA teams.
You would feel waterboarded, I think, trying to run in it.
I just wouldn't do it. Sort of like NCAA teams, those coaches don't wear their mask. Gone.
Well, the mask helps them coach better.
Yeah, of course.
That's really what he meant by that.
Well, look, here's the thing. There is a killing pandemic. Even though you've been tested 3-4 times that week, and everybody out there on the floor is negative, you don't know who has it incubating or whether you have it incubating, and you could be killing all of these players. I mean, again, here we are in March. This is March. This is March. I have heard and been told that this is March. So here we are in a season that began in November, and we have lost so many coaches and players.
Did they say this is April during Final Four week, or is it still March?
Well, I'm going to let people know that starting on April the 1st, I'm going to start tweeting on the first day of every month. This is April. This is May. This is June.
It's accurate.
On and on. Because apparently that's the thing to do. And occasionally I think I'm just going to randomly tweet from now on. This is
like
October.
April 17th.
This is April. This is April.
Yeah.
This is September.
Yes. Continue the show in 1 second. What did I tell you about Northeast Spark, NESPRC.com. 2 packages, the Ignite, that's 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband, NESpark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone services available as well as parental controls, network security, wireless mesh extenders, and more. Again, phone number there, 662-238-3159.
Are you ready to play at M-Trade Park? Registration has started for both youth baseball and softball with the Oxford Park Commission. Cost to play both sports is $50 per player. Leagues available 5 to 14 in softball, 5 to 17 in baseball. The season starts May 24th. It runs through July the 2nd. Deadline to register is April the 4th. So when I tell you this is April, you're on the clock. OxfordParkCommission.com. Are also brought to you by Lammon's Fine Jewelry in Oxford. Lammon's at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. Been serving the Oxford area for 73 years. Engagement rings, wedding rings. 'Tis the season. Fine jewelry, watches, pearls, fashion jewelry, children's jewelry, collectibles. Be a great place for a graduation gift. All of that at LammonsFineJewelry.com or 662-234-2777. Also brought to you by Muddy Water Camo, MuddyWaterOutdoors.com. They've got a large selection of gear, including those Tri-Zone heated jackets and vests. Buy one, get one free. You get the portable battery charger. Buy one, get one of those free as well. Speaking of heating and cooling and all that stuff and rotating temperatures, now is the time to get in touch with Comer Heating and Air. Make sure that air conditioning unit is in tip-top shape and ready for the heat wave that I promise you is on its way in the next couple of months. 662-801-1777, 662-801-1777. And if you're coming up for spring, you're coming up for the Grove Bowl, you're coming up for a baseball series, whatever the case may be, stop by the College Corner first. They've got you covered for game day, the largest selection of Rebel gear in Central Mississippi, 2 locations in Jackson, and also collegecornerstore.com.
Podcast is brought to you by Visit Oxford, visit oxfordms.com. The Oxford Film Festival going on March 24th through 28th. Drive-in kicks back up in April after they're also in for the film festival. However, things around the Commons area, as you've heard by now, over the last week or so. Plenty of Ole Miss baseball and much more as well. So you can find out what's going on locally there in Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com/events. Remember, bus tours going on every Friday of home SEC baseball weekends, as well as graduation weekends, 3 and 4 o'clock. You can call Visit Oxford, set up reservations for that. Again, visit oxfordms.com.
By the way, on the 40 thing, before we just let it go, it's my belief, based on the fact that 40 got beaten about the brow and face with that tweet last night, because the tweet's insane.
It is.
For the people who missed it, let me find it. In the event that you were
under a rock last night.
Under a rock. His tweet is not saying there's a causal relationship, but, the 3 coaches who seemed the least interested in wearing their mask this season were Brad Underwood, Illinois, Bob Huggins, Cincinnati, Chris Beard,
West Virginia.
Texas Tech. I'm sorry, West Virginia. Gone.
Gone. I mean,
our buddy Dan Wilkin had a similar tweety sort of thing.
His was mad about watch parties. He said the Oral Roberts watch party looks like a code of conduct violation waiting to happen. Which he's also making fun of it being a religious school that doesn't do dancing. So actually, he's making fun of religion there, Dan is.
Imagine
he's
that.
He's very against what he touts all the time.
Well, he's in his lane.
Just saying.
The 40 tweet struck me as...
I thought the same thing.
someone, likely someone at the NCAA level, likely someone fairly high up, said, can you do me a favor? When this is over, we've had a problem with these three coaches. We've kind of encouraged them to wear their masks. They've sort of guffawed at us. They've told us to eat a bag. And we're embarrassed. We can't get them to do it here, even though we're sending out constant reminders about, hey, you're on camera. We're setting an example for the rest of the world. Do us a favor. And I know people think that I'm kidding when I say this. It's twofold. One, all these guys are in Indianapolis right now, and there's games today, but there's no games tomorrow. There's no games Wednesday. There's no games Thursday. There's something in it for them to play along.
It's that, and it's what you said, though. They're all in the same place. Group think, pack mentality. Let's all coexist together right here, and let's.
Well, I wrote this in 10 Thoughts, and people think I'm just being mean. I'm being honest. That group hangs out together, and they all pat each other on the back. There's nothing that matters more to national media than the love of other national media. It doesn't require. People think that it's a conspiracy, that it's a coordinated effort, and I'm telling you, man, I don't think it is. I don't think there's a written path, if you will. There's a chain of evidence that would point towards, ooh, this was a conspiracy. No, they want to be loved by one another. And those guys at the NCAA know it. And so they just casually ask, hey, we've had some problems here. You know what would be funny? And it's done. It's done. They all just love each other. And they're up there for a month together. And they all get wrapped up in this tournament. They do it every year. But now they're in one place together. And it just becomes.
That's true. Not even spread out into your region.
Yeah.
And you're in your deal.
They've always, when they go to the tournament, they just, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Look at this is March. Oh my God, there's nothing but, look at the drama. And I like the tournament too. Don't get me wrong. I've turned the tournament on. It's been great. You and I were having this conversation a minute ago. I don't know how, as an athletics department, not that anybody does, as a fan base, I don't know how anybody can look at the last 4 days and say, I don't want to be a part of that. Boy, I wish. No, you want to be in the tournament. Even if you're the team getting bounced, even if you're Ohio State getting knocked out, you want to be in the tournament. It's a level outside of college football season, which is attention for everybody, a way to market your program. There's no better way in college athletics to market your athletics program, your university, your culture than the NCAA tournament.
In tangible ways, too. Where you're actually seeing benefit from it, not just the quick little burst and then over.
Absolutely. I mean, it just, and as the tournament advances and you start seeing the crowd shots in Tulsa, the Abilene Christian kids on the football field celebrating the win over Texas, not wearing masks, by the way. It was really it bothered me. It's it's a great marketing tool. But I do think that tweet was a favor. I don't think that was Pat Forty thinking of that on his own. Because it also, if you're Chris Beard after that tweet, when Pat Forty calls you and says, hey, I'm working, I hang up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. No, I'm not. And Chris Beard's going to be he's going to be a coach at a level higher than North Carolina. Texas Tech. He's going to be a guy at a place like North Carolina in the next few years.
Indiana.
Kansas. One of those kinds of gigs.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you attack Bob Huggins on a mask? You're going to go after Brad Underwood? Look, Illinois was a 1 seed. They got beat, but the odds are they're going to be good again.
Yeah.
So you're going after 3 big-time coaches? No, there was something in it for him. A level of access. I'm telling you, there was a promise made or inferred.
Sure, yeah.
Implied. Weird. I didn't know what did Nicole tweet something?
I've been scrolling through her Twitter account and I haven't seen anything yet,
okay.
But I don't know what she's written or not written, so I don't know. Who knows? Let's see. I was going to tell you bracket. Let's see games today. Let's kind of see where we are. Gonzaga against Oklahoma is today.
See you later, Sooners.
Yeah, because we have Gonzaga going a while. They're hanging around.
Well, they
enjoy that whenever Mizzou. That was good.
They do not look susceptible to.
It was a machine.
Yeah.
They're
running a very good system with very good players.
They can win with their C game against a lot of teams. And if they play their A game, they're just winning. There's nothing you can do about it. It's over. Creighton against Ohio. I think I actually have Creighton advancing, maybe. I don't know.
You may have.
Yeah, I think I did. Because I didn't like Virginia because of the whole COVID thing. I didn't know what their availability was.
That's right.
So, I didn't have Ohio beating them, but I want to say I had Creighton winning there. I've got USC beating Kansas, the U2. They're both still in. We were there in that part of the tournament.
I think we both went with Mobley for a little while, didn't we?
I think so too.
He's a good player.
And I've got Iowa beating Oregon. You had VCU. So I've actually had a clean quadrant there to this point.
Yeah, I don't even remember anymore.
You have LSU, I have Michigan, and we both have them going a while.
Yeah, I'm counting on Will Wade.
In the stranger twist of the year, Will Wade is what is preventing Neal from going to Dragon Con.
Will Wade can save me. But the good news is if I end up having to go and I'm pissed off, I can blame it on Will Wade.
He's essentially the closest thing to Walter White we have in college basketball. So it is what it is. Except he didn't have to transition from good to bad. He's just been an asshole the whole time. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
Florida State, Colorado. I think I've had that the whole time. You had Georgetown.
I did.
Over Colorado.
But I had Florida State winning. Yeah. So as long as Florida State wins,
it's not killing you.
I'm okay.
Yeah, it's all good. UCLA, Abilene Christian has just been a disaster of a situation.
Yeah.
I did have UCLA over BYU. Over Michigan State.
Yeah.
That was as far
as I had
that.
Michigan State in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and then we both had. I think we both had Maryland and Alabama.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Have Alabama winning, and then I guess winning.
I've got Alabama all the way to the Final Four.
Did I screw up and pick Texas to beat Alabama? I don't remember. I may have, but I don't.
No,
recall.
I thought you had Alabama in the Sweet 16.
Well, I know I did that.
Oh, yeah. You didn't have Alabama as far as I did.
Oh, I had them. Did you have them beating LSU? I had them losing to Michigan.
Yeah, that's right.
In the next round.
I have Alabama losing to Gonzaga in the Final Four.
Okay, sure. And then on the other side, it's just a complete and utter disaster. We could not have screwed up a side of the bracket more than we screwed up. Neal has Arkansas, which was good, but otherwise, there's very little over there for us.
I've watched Arkansas a lot this year, and they're a really talented team.
Baylor has looked really good.
Baylor's good. Look. Musselman's a good coach. He's a weird dude, and everybody gets hung up on the weirdness, but the guy's a good coach. He took Reno to the Final 8 or whatever the hell it was. He's a good coach, and they're a good team. He took a bunch of transfers. He brought in a very talented couple of freshmen, to his credit, and they're really good. I don't think they're a Final Four caliber team, but now they're just 2 wins away.
Well, they got a 15 seed.
They get Oral Roberts
and then
potentially Baylor.
Baylor or Villanova.
They'll have their hands full if they get to the Elite Eight.
Of course. But you're going to have
But you know that going in.
Eight.
And if you go to the Elite Eight,
all
at
good.
the end of the year, man,
nobody's mad at you when you get back off the plane in Fayetteville.
Kind of, you're getting a standing ovation.
Yeah. Good job.
When they introduce you at the baseball field one night. Hey, good. Yeah, way to go, fellas.
Yeah.
I will say this. Texas Tech was making a hell of a run on Arkansas yesterday. Moses Moody made an NBA bucket to stop that run. That was an NBA ISO bucket play that not too many dudes can go make.
Mentioning our thread, I did laugh out loud at Lane tweeting the replay officials and tagging Auburn athletics in it. I did find that humorous yesterday.
It was funny.
That was good.
It was funny.
He's
excellent at Twitter.
Yeah.
And he's a total smartass.
Yeah. So it blends.
Yeah.
It works.
Frankly, people say, why do you like Kiffin? I think I may have just explained it because I've never really met him. What is it about Kiffin that I like? Kind of. He likes to troll on Twitter, and he's a smartass.
Yeah.
Hello.
So it works out.
Someone called?
Yeah. Lord. So anyway.
You sent me that 40 tweet yesterday, and I was already composing at that point. That one sped my heart rate up because I recognized what it was, I think, immediately.
I get it.
It's the fight we're having. It's why I had so much fun. People would send me pictures from Swayze on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was just sending them out. I was trolling people. I was texting them to people who I know are crazies.
But see, here's the point that is very relevant here, is that we talked about this. People got really mad about the attendance thing for like 3 days, and then they're on to something else.
They move on.
Nothing else is going to be said about Swayze Field attendance. You're in now. It's over.
That's why I told you the other day about the University of Florida came out with the announcement that, hey, we might have to wear masks. Why? I told people what I would say if I was running one of these schools.
I saw that.
And I'd take a 2-day beating on this if I'm the University of fill in the blank. But let's do Florida. I would say, no, by August, we're not wearing masks. We're not requiring masks. If you want to wear a mask in class, wear a mask. You want to wear a mask walking the campus, wear a mask. No one's going to say a word to you, but we're not going to mandate masks. Mm-hmm. We're getting back to normal. Teachers are going to be there in person. Classes are going to be in person. We're going to have activities in person. Go Gators. See you in August. That's my announcement. I did find it interesting to look at the likes on that tweet. There were a handful of likes that I took as, interesting.
Oh, really?
It's essentially the plan at a lot of these places. But nobody will quite say it. What it is it's you're going to get beaten about the brow and face for a day or two until something else comes up and the media, the throng moves on.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get beat up for a day.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing you're going to get. A lot of people are going to go, thank God. And they're going to, you want to make enrollment grow? You want to get people excited? Tell them we're going back to normal. Yeah. Variants be damned. We're going back to normal. We're a college campus. We've got more than a year of notice now. Young people aren't impacted by this. The professors have had time to get vaccinated if they wish to get vaccinated. In fact, we've made the vaccines available for professors on our campus. Yeah. We're moving on. Yeah. Next. And you look at these baseball stadiums. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of Ole Miss baseball fans. A lot. But there was a whole lot of people at that game Saturday who it was also, you know what, man, this is awesome. We get to celebrate being alive again. Yeah.
Well, I do love, and I hate to even point it out in case somebody gets annoyed by it, is they still got like the seats in right field. Like, hey, the attendance is like doubled or whatever it is. Yeah. They're just all standing up. Like nobody's actually like it was packed.
Well, no one's enforcing that. Yeah. No one's enforcing that. And so when 2 weeks from now, when there's no massive outbreak in Oxford, that goes by the wayside. Mm-hmm. And someone will go, well, that's outdoors. Okay, I'm just telling you. It's basically over.
Yeah.
And I use that word and people get angry. And my question and my other question about it, I'm not going to stay on this for long, but if it's not safe in August,
is it ever?
Then why is it safe in January? Mm-hmm. And if it's not safe in January, then why is it safe next August? At some point, leadership, people in positions of power, positions of leadership have to say, okay, look, we're moving on. We're moving on. Now, that might mean you don't move on with us, but we're moving on. Mm-hmm. You drive around town this weekend. I was out of Carson had soccer in Memphis Saturday and Sunday, but I went up to the square on Friday night. Mm-hmm. Carson had basketball practice. I took him to basketball, and I drove around. That place was packed, man.
Yeah.
And those are people going indoors for stuff. It's young people. And so when there's no outbreak in 2 weeks, and there won't be, people need to go, okay, that's it. That's it. We're done. We're not doing this anymore.
Podcast brought to you in part by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Stowe County, and Chattanooga. All underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. So you're getting local underwriting. Understands your market. A leader in condo financing in Oxford. The float down option, which allows you to lock in the current rate. But if rates go down before you close, you get the lower rate. 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We're also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. They're based in Madison, Mississippi. Clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states as well. What they do at Pinnacle Trust is they sit down with you and they help you plan your retirement with your specifications. They don't make a box that they fit you into. They build a box just for you. They study your expenses and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's pintrust.com, PINNtrust.com. Mention that you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You get 10% off your first year's fees. Also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. As we've been talking about, a lot of people starting to say, hey, you know what, man, I'm going to take that summer vacation that we didn't take a year ago. I'm going to do something this holiday season that we didn't do last holiday season. Now's the time to book that because the rates are really low. And you can take advantage of those rates now. Get in touch with John. Tell him what you're thinking about doing. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget, and he'll give you options you won't find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients, by the way, save $50 off their first book trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. Also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan is the place to go. We've been doing business with Grenada Nissan for years. Nothing but great things to say. You'll feel the exact same way. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by OUB, Oxford University Bank, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with the personal touch. When you call OUB, you speak directly with a live person, no 10 buttons to push, no 5 minutes to wait. Great customer service at OUB, and you can learn more at liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. I will be putting up a mailbag on Wednesday. That mailbag is brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all of your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844.
Somebody asked in the thread a few minutes ago, was the sweep more about Ole Miss or Auburn? And the answer is both. Ole Miss, we know they're really good on the mound when they're on. They did that. I thought that was the most impressive thing of the weekend. Auburn entered hitting .339 against right-handed pitching, and that was an SEC best. Ole Miss limited them with 3 right-handed starters to 2 runs over 19 innings between the 3 starters. Hoagland was just incredible on Friday night.
Great pitching beats great hitting all the time. Otherwise, Mike Trout would hit 7 gazillion home runs.
Yeah. Drew McDaniel was incredibly good. He's showing more maturity every time. If he's back next season, and he probably will be, even though he's draft eligible, he's a weekend starter along with Derek Diamond. And then I thought Diamond's performance yesterday was the biggest story of the weekend, and it got shut down a little because of the weird runs and all the stuff going on, because when he leaves, it's 14-0. But 6 shutout innings after they've seen the same type of pitcher 2 days in a row being that good against right-handed pitching. I thought, because, they all kind of profile the same. Ole Miss, if you want to find a negative in their recruitment and the fact they just recruit the best pitchers they can find, is that they all kind of are the same dude. Everybody throws 91 to 95, and everybody's got the slider and the changeup, and everybody's right-handed, and it kind of does tunnel the same way.
Well, when you're having to commit kids as 8th graders, there is a certain tendency to go after the same type of kid. Yeah. I'm just
so the kid's 14 and he throws 91, we'll take him. We'll see how that translates.
Well, seriously, when the decisions are having to be made when they're Carson's age, you are going to profile.
Well, I was laughing with Nick Sush yesterday because we said, Nikhazy was supposed to be the change of pace, and he was supposed to be the left-hander in the middle of the rotation, and he was supposed to throw a bunch of ground balls, and suddenly, he gains 3 miles an hour, and he's the left-handed Gunnar Hoagland. He's striking out 10 or 11, and it's like, Jesus, they don't have that pitch count guy to just roll through 8 innings on 78 pitches and do whatever. No, everybody's striking out a ton of dudes. Everybody's throwing a ton of pitches. Trying to make it work.
People out there who think I'm joking, I'm not. I'm being totally serious. When you're making your evaluation decision, and you have to. The way that I suspect that if we were to talk to Carl honestly, do you really like it this way? He would say, no, not really. I'd really rather wait.
Of course.
But you can't. That is not offered to you.
I mean this seriously, as much as it's going to sound like a joke. You're projecting puberty at this point. Are they done? Are they not done? Is the kid going to get 3 inches taller? Is he finished as a 15-year-old? Who the hell knows?
Well, I'll use my kid as an example. Now, Carson's not going to be a college athlete, so don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those dads. But he's gone from 5'5" to 5'10" in like 6 months. And the rest of him hasn't filled out.
Yeah, sure.
Now, he's gotten faster, but he's not as strong as he needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, when he plays soccer over the weekend, they played this team from Illinois, kind of a big physical kind of team, and they got pushed around a little bit. And he responded to it pretty good. But my point is if you're evaluating him, you would have to say, okay, will he fill into that? How much more is he going to grow up?
Is he filling out?
And is he going to fill out? And when he fills out, will he lose some of his speed? Will he stay athletic? Will he stay as kind of flexible as he is? I don't know. You're having to make those decisions in baseball. So what do? Well, you put a radar gun on him. Oh, he's throwing 90. Okay, we're in. And so you end up getting a lot of the same kids.
Yeah. they're the no-brainers, and there's one that was like, well, okay, we'll take the projection here. But nonetheless, it's why, I mean, Mike's doing the right thing, even when he comes, and he is coming back, by the way. Doug Nikhazy will return to the rotation this week. Friday this week, but they're Thursday to Saturday. He's throwing the middle game.
Okay.
But it's what he's doing. He's trying to break up the right-handers a little bit. So you go Hoagland to Nikhazy and then back to Diamond. And, I mean, Derek was juiced up yesterday. I mean, he was 97 in the first. That slider was 88 there at one point yesterday. I mean, there's some real shit there. Like
fans in the stands get a little more.
Well, he was like Leiter. Diamond and Leiter this weekend. It was their first SEC starts because they didn't get to play one last year. So they were kind of amped up a little bit. And
had a little time to think about it.
I mean, look, from a metric standpoint, he's as good as anybody on the roster. He doesn't know how to pitch as well as Hoagland yet. He will get there. But there's some real stuff there with Derek Diamond. It's
like when he didn't pitch well in that super regional, or was it Diamond?
It was Hoagland.
Hoagland. Yeah, Hoagland's the one. When he didn't pitch well in that super regional, people are, he's a bum. Stop. He's got great stuff. Stop.
He's a true freshman.
Just
give it
chill.
Yeah.
The moment may have been a little big. The moment will always be big.
Yeah,
hang on.
He worked Auburn on Friday night. It was as good as we've seen. Frankly, it's as good as anybody I've seen since Pomeranz.
Yeah, I've talked to baseball people who were there. They were.
It was real.
Yeah.
Fastball dominant. The slider for some of it. The changeup was good. I mean, it was real. Because he's not Drew, but he's as good right now as anybody outside of Drew that's been through there that I've covered. And we'll see where it goes from here. But I mean, he's better mentally. The stuff's better. He's not. Everybody got all freaked out about his command numbers out of high school, but it actually was a bad thing. Like I said, he had to kind of learn to pitch where you don't just throw the ball over the middle of the plate when you get behind an account. And he's doing that now. He's not scared to walk you. He'll work his way out of it. And in the seventh inning, I mean, that thing's 0-0, and a game you frankly have to win if you're trying to really do big things because Auburn's not great. Runners on second and third, nobody out, and he strikes out 3 in a row. Just bang, 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 and gets off the field, and you go, oh, that's
yeah. Well, that was, to me, the most significant part of what he did was, had it been a 9-0 game, there'd be a tendency to go, yeah, he was dominant, but he also was carefree.
Yeah.
It's 0-0.
Until the 8th.
When you're 0-0, man, you're one bad, as the Auburn kid found out, you're one bad pitch away from losing.
Yeah.
When you're up 7-0, you're not one bad pitch away from losing. You're just cruising.
That game was completely even except Calvin Harris hit a ball out of the ballpark.
That's what we do in Dubuque. That's what we do. We hit home runs in big moments.
I mean, he is kind of like our Central Casting. I mean, he's from Dubuque, no batting gloves.
Yeah, that's what, we don't need those. We're tough.
Just hitting.
That's what we do. In Dubuque, we raised kind of corn-fed, tough guys.
I would assume, yes, Gunnar Hoagland's going to be a first-round lock.
Yes.
Somebody's taking him in the first 30 picks.
Absolutely. Because they look at his stuff.
Yeah.
They don't care about his results.
And look.
It's like Casey Mize got, knocked around a couple of times. People are like, oh, he's going to fall. I'm like, no, he's not. No.
They're good.
No, he's not. Because the other thing the pro guys do is they go, hey, a reminder, the guys that will be facing him won't be swinging metal.
Yeah, wood.
It'll be wood, and there's difference.
Yeah, people got freaked out about Leiter's pitch count on Saturday. We freak out too much about the one-offs. You don't want to do it every single week, but one outing's not going to kill anybody. It's going to be all right.
In fact, watch Tim on Saturday. He'll drop him down to 105 pitches.
Yeah, we're not going to.
You see it in the bigs all the time. A guy might go 127, and the next week he goes 92.
They were going to let him finish, and probably even if he walked another dude, he was coming out. Like, I would assume he had to go 3 up, 3 down there in the ninth.
Probably so.
I mean, I don't think they would have let him go 135, 140, and kind of.
Well, and I watched some of it. He was watched the replay. He was mostly throwing fastballs.
It was almost all 16 strikeouts were fastballs. If that was how many it was.
But late in the game, it was very clear. Hey, you're not throwing a bunch of off-speed stuff right now and screwing with your arm. Look, credit to Corbin, okay? Yeah. I know we all love to pile on Corbin and the little engine that could and all of those things. You don't keep getting major league players to come to your program
unless you take care of them.
By ruining them.
Yeah, sure. Well, and look, everybody's different. That's what, too, so many media people in general, maybe one dude can't and one dude can. I mean, Lance Lynn could just throw all freaking day, and it did not freaking matter, and he was almost all fastballs and just here. Because
he was a lot like Leiter.
Yeah.
Lance's release was exactly the same every single time.
So, he can throw 135 pitches on the one-off. One other dude, at 97, he starts breaking down and stuff hangs a little. And
Not this kid. No. This kid's a robot.
He is. So, look, his arm action's better. I mean, that's the reason I take him first is
I know.
because Kumar's got much more stuff going on.
Kind of wonky.
I mean, he's good, but
No, Kumar's upside is every bit as high as Leiter's, if not higher.
yeah.
Leiter's floor, dude.
It's pretty high.
When your floor is you're the number 2 man in a major league rotation, and I'm convinced that's his floor.
Yeah.
Shoo.
Yeah.
That's his floor.
That
is the most perfect, repeatable delivery.
And then we mentioned Calvin Harris. But all jokes aside, he and T.J. McCants really have changed the lineup over the course of the weekend. Mike is not bashful about taking elite infielders and making them outfielders. McCants looks pretty comfortable in center field. It allows Bench to come in and play third base. It makes them more athletic in both spots, frankly. And McCants, he's got his batting average up to 300. It's limited plate appearances. He hit his first home run. He had a double yesterday. But what you like about him is he's also walked 8 times in 41 at-bats. There's some patience there. There's a little maturity early on. He's not getting just swallowed up by the moment. And then Harris, he follows up the home run with 3 RBIs on Saturday. He scored once. He drove in a guy yesterday. He had a walk. There are ways to really kind of move that lineup over at the bottom. And everybody's doing a lot of freak out about left-handed stuff. And I get it. I understand it. But I think we overplay that in college where – in college baseball, just play the best player, and he's whatever-handed he is, and it is what it is. I know that out of the 9 offensive players right now, Ole Miss is starting 7 left-handers. I mean, 6 or 7 left-handers. I get it, but it just doesn't matter. Play the guys that hit.
Yeah, you figure all that out later. You don't fall into those traps.
If you want to move a guy in a different spot to kind of break it up, sure, but I'm not playing someone because they're a left-handed hitter at this point.
No. That'd be dumb.
So Harris can't play a position, but he can DH, and McCants can frankly play anywhere, but center field seems like the most likely spot for him right now.
Yeah.
Auburn is really good offensively and bad on the mound. They're banged up. I mean, even the Greenhill on Friday night, frankly, that was not a good night for Ole Miss offensively. Greenhill he's typically 91, 93, 94. He was like 87 to 89. He's got a toe issue, and they let him hang around way too long. Mike was pretty mad about it, said they got beat by 87 all night long. They've got some bullpen issues. Jack Owen's still hurt. Fitz is still hurt. I mean, you needed to sweep Auburn.
Well, you've been saying it for weeks, that these first 2 weeks they needed to win games because after that it gets –
you get banged up Auburn and you get Alabama without Connor Prelup.
You need to be 5-1 at the end of those 6 games.
Yeah. You're not going to go – I mean, if you're not ever going to predict a sweep on the road, but just go win the series in Tuscaloosa.
You need to be 5-1 coming back from Tuscaloosa
because then you've got
Florida and –
Arkansas and Mississippi State.
Yeah. No,
buckle up.
There's no promises there.
No, but look, if you go 5-1, you don't want to do this. But if you go 3-6 in your next 9, you're still 8-7 at the break.
Yeah, you're in good shape.
You're fine because then you get Carolina and A&M, who's not very good.
You can recover a little bit.
Because look, you just got to do your work. You got to get to 16 and 14. Anything above that's gravy for Ole Miss because their RPI is going to be good enough. You'll host at 16 and 14. And the committee will cut you a break on a game to a game and a half because your schedule sucks compared to everybody else's. State gets to play Missouri. People get to play Kentucky. Both those teams are horrid.
Well, your strength of schedule is going to be so high.
I mean, you're not going to lose those wins over Tech and Texas and TCU. Those are going to count all year long.
Well, it's like when people last week got worked up about back-to-back losses to Louisiana Monroe and then to Louisiana Tech. It's, oh, my God. It's like, well, look, it's not ideal.
Yeah.
As Brian Scott Rippey would say, it's suboptimal.
Suboptimal, yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't matter. Any more than winning those games would not have mattered. They're going to – look, I've been consistent on this for years, and I think I'm right. They're going to look at your 30-game record. They're going to look at your – if you're 14-16 in the league, I don't care what you did to Louisiana Tech. You're not hosting. If you're 17-13 in the league, I don't care what you did against Louisiana Tech. You're hosting.
100%.
So the games that matter are the 30 that they're off to a 3-0 start. And
they need 13 or 14 more.
Yeah, they've got 27 games left, and they need to go. They'd feel if you offered Mike right now 14-13 the rest of the way in the league,
17-13,
he'd think real hard about it. It'd be real hard to say
no.
no.
You're hosting.
You're hosting at that point. Might not be a national seed,
but I'll take my chances.
But you're hosting, and so that's all that really matters. The whole midweek stuff.
Because there's going to be a team out there that's really highly ranked right now that's not quite as good as everybody thought they were, and they are going to get their brains kicked in for 30 games. Somebody that we think is pretty good is going to go 12-18. Where you go, oh, they're just get beat. I mean, it is what it is. It might be Carolina, frankly. That's kind of what my thought process is as they move forward. They're just not good away from home. because it's not Florida, even though they are horrid defensively. Florida is the worst defensive baseball team in the league, and it just doesn't matter because they've got arms and bats and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And O'Sullivan's, hey, if you can hit, sure, go. We'll beer league softball this thing around the field a little bit, but I don't know. Kentucky's bad, Missouri's bad, Tennessee's pretty good. Georgia's very average.
The guy at Tennessee's a good coach.
Patello's awesome. I do think that was probably right. He's probably buying time before Van Horn steps down at Arkansas and will be the next Arkansas coach, and he'll be a son of a bitch there. So that will.
To me, Arkansas is a lot like Ole Miss this year. If you told me they get to Omaha, I'm not surprised. If you told me they just don't quite have enough and get knocked out in a regional final or a super regional, I buy that too.
You can throw about 15 teams in a pot and go, hey, whatever you think.
Oh,
sure.
I think there are about 6 SEC teams that you can throw in a bag and go, take one.
Might win the national title and might lose in a regional.
Well, I mean, I'll name 5 right away. Vanderbilt, Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Rank those 5 teams. I can make an argument. I can make an argument for Vanderbilt being 1, and I can make an argument for Vanderbilt being 4. Yeah. I can make an argument for Ole Miss being 1, and I can make an argument for Ole Miss being 5.
Yeah.
I can make an argument for Arkansas being 2, and I can make an Arkansas being 5.
Yeah.
No problem. If I tell you Arkansas is in the College World Series finals, are you floored?
No.
Of course not. They figured out Friday night a little bit.
Yeah.
And if I tell you, hey, they got beat in a regional final, you're like, yeah, Friday night got them.
Yeah, they lost the opener and things got weird.
Yeah.
And whatever.
And if I tell you Ole Miss goes to Omaha, are you surprised? Not even a little bit. And if I tell you they don't make it out of a regional, you're not surprised because there's issues. None of these teams are just like machines. And it's for Vanderbilt even. I mean, there's a mental thing with them. If you were to lose a Friday regional with Rocker on the mound, oh God.
Can you come back through it?
You freak out a little bit.
Yeah. Because look, it just takes one other pitcher and one ball out of the ballpark. That's all it takes.
I promise you, somewhere in this season, in his heart of hearts, Tim Corbin's hoping to lose on a Friday and then come back and win on a Sunday so that he can go remember this moment in case.
Yeah.
He does not want clean all year.
Yeah. And
then you get into June and suddenly, you've seen it, Fridays go weird in an NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
You lose a 1-0 game because you play some, I don't know, Monmouth or somebody, and they've got one ace on their team, which the reason they're there.
You run into a Chris Sale from Gulf Coast or something.
And he pitches the game of his life, and you lose to Monmouth 1-0 on a Friday night, and now your team's freaked out. You don't want that. You'd rather experience this.
Ole Miss, Alabama, starting Thursday. Again, huge with Prelip out. You need to win the Hoagland game on Thursday. I mean, Prelip, I felt like he had a ton thrown on him early from an accolade standpoint, but the dude's thrown like 28 career innings without allowing a run. He's a potential 1-1 next year if he's healthy. And I can't even come up with what might be wrong with him. It's one of the weirder things from a medical injury standpoint of how quiet they've been and how nothing's getting said. So
Kyle Wilson has a question for you. First, Kyle, thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate that. He says, do you think Alabama will ever be elite in baseball? With our budget, we should be able to.
They just don't care enough. They don't care a ton. It's always going to be the third sport at Alabama.
Sure.
No, they were good. They played for the national title in '97, but things are different now.
When they played for the national title, because I was in the stadium.
Yeah.
Ole Miss was not engaged.
No.
I don't know that Arkansas was engaged to this level.
No. It was LSU, Auburn State, and Alabama.
Yeah. Now you got Texas A&M and you got Arkansas fully involved, and you look around the league. I mean, Kentucky's involved now. Carolina's involved.
Everybody.
Tennessee's
involved. Kentucky built a $40 million stadium.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a different deal. There's
look, can they be elite? Sure, because anybody can be elite. I mean, you can do it. It's not as hard as Tennessee or something, but you got the scholarship problem. You got that you're by far the third sport, and frankly, in baseball, facilities do kind of matter in a lot of ways.
Sure.
And they screwed up doing what they did. They've made Sewell Thomas nicer. They did a good job, but they limited themselves on really turning it into a really nice stadium. They kind of lipstick on a pig a little bit.
They needed to build a new one.
Yeah, they needed to start over, and they used the same guts, and it's better. But
you drive around the league and you look at the different facilities in baseball. I mean, obviously the one in Oxford's great. The one in Starkville's great. Alex Box's, even though I'm not personally crazy about it, it's a great facility. Baum Walker in Fayetteville's great. I mean, it's
Blue Bell at A&M.
Yeah, it might be the best of the group in some ways. So that's tough.
If you're going to have scholarship issues, you've got to maximize everywhere else you can do it, and they don't do that. So you've just got negatives everywhere. I mean,
you got to make sure you have an elite coach. That's the other thing. I mean, not to go down the whole scholarship deal, but Ole Miss has had a guy who, at the very least, you have to give Mike Bianco credit for being a guy who really understands his scholarship number and knows how to manage it.
Yeah.
And Mississippi State's had some of those guys.
It overwhelms coaches who don't know that. You can see quickly, oh, he's done. There's no way. I
mean, look at Butch. Butch Thompson's a hell of a good coach.
He got to Omaha, and he had a hell of a run at 19, but consistently they're not.
It's hard to do.
Yeah,
because it's really hard to do. If it were easy,
everybody would do it.
I mean, Mississippi State's had valleys. Now, they've had guys that have really peaked and they've had really good. And I think the guy who's there now is a really good coach.
They've been the key for the non-scholarship ones. Hey, when you get the opportunity, maximize it. And that's what State does a great job of. They maximize their opportunities when they have them. So, anyway. Podcast brought to you in part by Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area. They offer MedSync. Fill your prescriptions the same day each month, whether it be one delivery or one stop there in the pharmacy. They take care of you and make sure you have what you need when you need it. And with the right way meds, they individually package your medication as needed as well. So again, on the Square in Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs, or on South Lamar in Oxford, that's 662-236-2222.
We're also brought to you by Bain, Moss & Bowen, located in historic downtown Corinth. Their firm practices a wider range of law, from DUI defense to car wrecks to representing government entities. It's the only firm in Mississippi made up of a sitting state legislator, a former assistant district attorney, and a former circuit court judge. Their experience is unmatched in that regard, and you can tap into it by visiting them at 618 East Waldron Street in Corinth, or call them at 662-287-1620. Also brought to you by Alpha Specialties, located at 1670 Highway 80 in Pearl, Mississippi. They are your trailer-specific professionals. If you want to haul it, they can call it. Alpha's the premium trailer dealership in Mississippi. They've got Load Trail, which is the premium brand trailer, the highest quality utility equipment dump and gooseneck trailers being built today. Fully primed, powder-coated Load Trail trailers come with an industry-leading 3-year warranty and 2 years of roadside assistance. They've also got Hallmark cargo trailers. They've got spare tires and wheels starting at just $100, a full selection of trailer parts and accessories. They do all sorts of truck accessories, and you can get 10% off a yearly trailer service and inspection at their full-service shop. We'll tell you more about Alpha throughout the week, but know this, you can go to alphaofms.com, alphaofms.com, or call 601-932-9798. And we're brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans. They make the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit and hand-tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi. One size fits one at BlueDeltaJeans.com. They've been advertising with us for the past 2+ years. We've always directed you to DM them to set up a time to get measured. But now, whether you're coming to Oxford or not, you can visit BlueDeltaJeans.com to get measured by their new virtual tailor and design your very own jeans. And just for our podcast listeners, enter the discount code Rebel Grove, that's all lowercase, one word, at checkout. Get 10% off your order. They're the most comfortable jeans I've worn. You'll feel the same way, so give them a try today at BlueDeltaJeans.com. We're also brought to you by the Rogue. The Rogue is your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylist hand-select pieces from top designers. From work to lifestyle to nightlife, there's the perfect something for everyone at the Rogue. I-55 North in Jackson, or therogue.com. And we're brought to you by Joey Herrickson at Heron Gear Chevrolet. Let him help you find the vehicle you're looking for at a price you can afford. Choose from a full selection of new Chevy vehicles or get a great deal on numerous brands of reliable pre-owned vehicles. Give Joey a call or text at 662-571-2367. Tell him what you're looking for. Or stop by 1685 High Street in Jackson to test drive that new or used vehicle you've been wanting. Let him earn your business. And with any purchased vehicle, just mention the Oxford Exxon Podcast or the Soft Verbal Podcast. You'll receive a gas card of $50.
I would have thought this was the onion, but it's not because my friend wrote it for the for NOLA.com.
Okay.
Krispy Kreme will give you a free donut a day if you get vaccinated against COVID. So much here.
So there's so many places.
I'm just gonna read the story and then we'll do whatever we do and move on.
Okay.
But I caught this.
This is what Chase does. Everybody needs to know this. This is what he does. Because people say, do y'all ever fight? We've never really fought, but I have brought this up before, and he does it anyway. He doesn't tell me this is coming. So
I just saw it.
Hold on.
You
don't. He doesn't tell me this is coming, and then he throws this at me, and it's like
you have no time to process.
He knows I like to swing at hanging curveballs, and then he hangs one, and he giggles out loud when I swing out of my shoes at it.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Carly Wales from NOLA.com this morning, just popped up on my Twitter account. Krispy Kreme will give you a free donut each day for the rest of the year to get vaccinated against COVID. The bakery chain announced the promotion Monday morning, saying it, quote, wanted to find a way to show our support for those who are protecting themselves and others by getting vaccinated. Starting Monday, anyone who shows their COVID-19 vaccination record card from the CDC will get a free original glazed donut. The card needs to show the person has received at least one of the 2 shots of Moderna or Pfizer or the 1 shot of Johnson & Johnson. Vaccine stickers don't qualify. The card can be used daily, anytime, any day, even every day, until December 31st for a free donut. Krispy Kreme said it can be redeemed in the shop or the drive-thru, but not using online ordering or delivery. And then she gives the locations in the Baton Rouge or New Orleans areas. Mm-hmm. It said the company also said it will give employees up to 4 hours of PTO to get vaccinated. Quote, we all want to get COVID-19 behind us as fast as possible, said Dave Skina, Krispy Kreme's chief marketing officer, in a press release. Well, nobody orders just one donut, so honestly, Krispy Kreme's going to make some cash off this. It's other than the whole health thing where poor health causes more COVID complications, they'll actually turn this into a pretty successful promotion as things move forward.
Oh, wait. We're now in month 13 or 14, depending on your clock.
Uh-huh.
The media failed in so many ways. The government failed in so many ways with COVID. But in my opinion, the biggest failure,
I know where you're going. I agree with you.
Was there was a point where very early on, people could have said, look, here's the deal with COVID. The older you are, the more at risk you are. The heavier you are, the more at risk you are. And if you're obese, you're at risk. This is an opportunity to tell people, go lose weight. Go get in shape. It's not fat shaming. Fat shaming would be if you said, hey, if you're obese, your value as a human is less than that of a fit person. No one's saying that. No one's saying that. But there's been a real failure in media for 13 months now, and that is the media will pull up these stories. 32-year-old without comorbidities dies from COVID, and you look at the person and they're 100 pounds overweight. Doesn't make them a bad person, but they were at risk. They were at a higher level of risk.
Oh, we were hit harder by COVID because of our obesity levels in this country. There's no way around that fact.
So why would you do something that promotes obesity? Because, come on, a daily trip to Krispy Kreme is not a good idea.
The amount of sugar.
I mean, unless you're
in your body.
like a professional swimmer,
and you know you're going to burn that bitch off for hours.
You're going to go have a 3,000 calorie
have
whatever, eat a donut.
Yeah,
because you're just giving yourself some fast energy. But if you're not that, I mean, look, I do cardio every day. I did an 8-mile training run yesterday. I can't eat donuts every day. I can't eat like that. And most people can't eat like that. That's not even them being capitalistic. That's them being tone deaf.
Looking for calories in one donut, a Krispy Kreme original glazed is 190. So we're talking 250 some odd days left in the year. No, it's more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hey Siri, how many days are left in 2021?
It's 284 days.
You have 284 days left.
All right, so that's 53,960 calories if you did one every day for the rest of the year. I get the scientists out there don't hold, but one pound is 3,500 calories, give or take.
Okay.
So we're talking 15, 18 pounds of donuts. If you change no activity and no diet thing.
And just have one.
Well, right. That's just the
and
free
just having
donut.
one.
Yeah, that's the free
And again,
donut.
how many people? I mean, there are going to be people who will now go to Krispy Kreme every single day, and in their minds get 2 for 1.
15.4 pounds.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So you would add not counting the sugar, which actually is worse for you than calories. It's sugar that is the main inflammation culprit and all the different things that can happen to you.
I think it's tone deaf on their part. They needed hand-raised guy in the room. Although hand-raised guy probably gets fired when he or she says, "What are we doing?"
Mm-hmm. So, nonetheless, just saw that as we were going down the Twitter machine.
Are you a big donut person?
Yeah, I have to stay away from them, or I'll eat a dozen.
So you crave them? Do you ever crave a donut?
I never think about it unless they're offered to me.
Okay.
They have to be in front of me. They have to be there, but I have a really hard time avoiding them if they are.
Really?
Yeah. No, I mean, I can eat any kind of donut, whatever. I'm not a huge cream-filled donut fan. My favorite donut is a chocolate glazed with coconut sprinkles.
Oh.
That's my favorite donut. But, yeah, donuts are a problem if I allowed them to be. But I'm never going to be like, hey, I'm going to go buy a donut.
Right.
Like,
I'm trying to think the last time
I mean, Carly Ann will get some donuts occasionally, and I'm bad about grabbing one.
One, sure.
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, frankly, donuts in the morning, if they were available, might be a bigger problem for me than even like a dessert or ice cream or something later in the day, because that does not ever cross my mind, really. So, yeah, donuts are up there.
I don't, like, it's 10:55. I've not had a bite this morning. I don't even think about food till about noon. And I don't ever really think about dessert, but, like, you put bread and stuff in front of me, and it's a problem.
Like I say, you're a carb.
That's my weakness.
Really good pastas and stuff. You're done.
Yeah, that's a weakness. Pizza.
Yeah, we
didn't mention Ole Miss basketball, by the way. The season ended on Friday night with a loss to Louisiana Tech in the NIT. It was very predictable. Devontae Shuler did not play. Obviously, KJ Buffin did not play. He's in the transfer portal. It was a fairly uninspired effort. For someone like me who has been consistent with the NIT, it was not surprising. The NIT stands, in my mind, for not in the tournament. I think only on occasion can you turn the NIT into something. The team that was really close to the NCAA tournament, typically when it goes to the NIT, plays uninspired basketball and gets beat. Mm-hmm. I knew Louisiana Tech would get geeked up to play an SEC team. They did. They played hard. Ole Miss played okay.
I mean, they had a 10-point lead at the half and just sputtered.
Yeah, Ole Miss played a really good end of the first half, and then it got away, and it was that. They go into the transfer portal searching for at least 3 players, probably 4. And
maybe 5.
And they better –
and they have 3 incomings already.
They better go get some impact guards.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the bottom line. You better go find a point guard that can be your point guard, and he can't be some 5'8", 5'9" guy because Ruffin's too small coming in.
Yeah.
You're going to have to find a point guard with some size, and you're going to have to find a wing who can shoot it with some size. If you watch the tournament, and I've watched a lot of the tournament, I think you probably have too, the teams that are advancing are the teams with good guard play who can make shots. Ole Miss doesn't have enough shooters. You better go get some shooters. I think this team's going to add a 3/4 that you've all heard of. I don't want to get in trouble and say a name, but it's the same guy. Y'all know who we're talking about. I think he's coming. And then I think they're going to try to add another big, and then you got 2 spots at least for guards, and you better nail it. You better get it right. Otherwise, I don't know that you have ball handlers on this team.
Mm-hmm.
They played with Jarkel Joyner at the point. They played with Austin Crowley at the point. They tried Matthew Morrell at the point some. And it's one game, and again, it's one game in a weird setting in Frisco, Texas on a weird Friday night when the rest of the country's watching the NCAA tournament. I put no stock in the game. But I watched the offense.
Yeah, sure.
They missed Devontae. And so he won't be there. And so you got to figure out this point guard thing.
Yeah.
And you look at like Arkansas, for example, and they've got all these guys they brought in from different transfer places, and it's fitting. They got to go get some of those guys. You've got to go get guards that can play in this league to survive in this league.
We'll get a little more of that tomorrow, as well as see what other further carnage is going on from a bracket situation, and more. Ole Miss again playing Central Arkansas tomorrow. Baseball prior to Alabama Thursday to Saturday. Quick note on that, because we mentioned the weather. SEC rules say you have to play the 3 games in the 3 games they're scheduled, so they can't move anything to Sunday. Everything would go doubleheader Saturday, Friday to get the 3 games inside that window. So there can be no flexibility from a day standpoint for a weekend series per the league office. So there's that. So appreciate everybody coming in with us today. Back to normal time, I assume, tomorrow, barring anything I'm not aware of.
Yep.
So check us out. We'll talk to you then. Have a good day. Take care.